Good day, welcome. Well, market is not doing great, but I'm not checking crypto Twitter today as it feels like the world is ending and people have some very hard time zooming out. So yeah, that's why I'm just not checking Twitter too much. I'm also getting flamed by maxis for some coins that I'm saying, okay, they might have a retrace. I don't know why the space is getting this toxic again. However, what are we going to discuss today might be a little longer than usual, as we are going to discuss the equity markets. We are also going to discuss Bitcoin, we're going to discuss Ether, total market cap, and XLM and CHR. So that's enough and wonderful. First, I would like to say that you have to relax. The markets are still in the structure, are still moving upwards. We are still like 150% higher than the low in March. We are still in an uptrend. Ethereum is still doing well. VeChain, Zilliqa are doing well. Some majors are lagging behind, but that's probably because of the other majors doing nothing. So I don't see a reason to be extremely bearish at this point, as the market structure is still okay. And yes, we've got a bearish and bullish scenario. We'll be discussing that as well. The equity markets are turning a little bit, which means that there's a serious sell-off today. Was due, given that the markets have been extending to the upside. We've seen it with like big coins move, of big assets moving heavily, like Tesla going towards 1k plus. So it's a natural corrective move. Are we going to reverse here with the equity markets? I don't believe that yet. We're also seeing that people start to correlate Bitcoin with the equity markets again. Probably has not much to do with it. As when it has to do something with it, then gold and silver should also be coming down, as we witnessed in March, and that's not the case. So it might be that today there is a slight correlation. But overall, I should not be paying too much attention to it yet, unless there is a real panic on the markets. Bitcoin still acting inside the range, which is no clear direction, and we could have fake outs, which we'll be discussing in a bit. Altcoins, is this a good moment to consider longs on VeChain and Zilliqa? No, you've missed your entry, and now you're getting FOMO and greed, or fear of missing everything with emotions related, as it's moving up heavily. And what I've been discussing over and over again, the markets can be extreme on the downside, going to levels that you're not expecting to see, which is similar when it starts to move upwards, it goes higher than you expect to see. And in this case, Zilliqa is in an area where you should not be really considering shorts, at least I'm not, given that it's still trending up heavily. Is it in a long entry zone? No, as it's not hitting a support on higher time frames yet. So I'm expecting that if they reverse, which should be likely quite soon, then I'm looking for a higher time frame support level before I'm entering it. And I'm not giving any attention to what everyone is making or what everyone is shouting about it, as it's all about my own portfolio, and I'm going to pay the bills for my grocery store, shopping, and all the other stuff. The market won't do that. What about XLM? I've received many questions regarding that coin. Structure is still intact, having a slight dip right now as well. It has to hold a few levels which are critical, but overall it's okay, not great, okay. BTC pairs are doing impressive. But let's first discuss the equity markets, in which we see that if you've been watching the live streams, you've seen that I've made this scenario on the Dow Jones, and actually we've rejected at a range resistance, which is probably this whole zone here. Are we done? Well, it's a heavy downwards move. The volatility seems back on the markets. However, I'm expecting that we're going to range for a little while in the coming months, in which we just hop up and down, in which the support level is around 24.5, and then we can see some movements like I've pointed out here. If we get a move towards 24.5, bounce up, take the high here, drop below, and then lose 24.5, I'm assuming we're going to get a very deep low. So yeah, it's an intraday drop, or at least a heavy drop. It's 4% down. We have not witnessed that for a serious period, but it has to get towards reality at some point. And the Fed should start understanding or realizing that what they are doing with infinite money supply won't work. Or at least the money won't get in the system where it belongs. So yeah, it's a good question here where we are going to bounce. Short term, it looks like we are getting we're seeing a significant drop. I'm looking at around 25, maybe 25.5 for a bounce. Similar view as on Nasdaq, which took the high. If we drop below this previous high, I'm assuming that I'm assuming we're going to see a continuation on the drop. But overall, it is due for corrective movements after such a heavy rally. And then everything is dropping except for gold and silver, which are doing relatively well. So there's not a full correlation on the markets back again. You can see that we held support. This is the bearish view I had. If we lost 1670, I assume we're going to drop further down. Right now we're going to take the highs. If we break this significant level around 1800, I'm assuming we're going to test the highs around 1900. So this is a pretty bullish setup still. Then our dearest friend, BitConnect. And as you can see, we have been making this scenario here in which we just consolidate and grind, in which we can say that the drop down here towards the green zone is pretty much a fake out. Like the trend is up, you get this move, bounce back up, and then we continue. So this is a fake out in which we probably take the lows below this low, which is in the 91.5, 92 zone, and then continue to rally. Overall, the structure is remaining the same, in which we are making higher lows. So if we hold this green zone, then I'm expecting that we're doing pretty fine and continue to grind to the upside. However, we've rejected 10k, which makes it a little more critical. So what we have seen is we rejected. If we get a move here and instantly reject at the 9.6 zone here and start to get towards support once again, I'm assuming that the support is getting weaker and I'm expecting a further downwards drop. If we lose 9.1, 9.3, I'm assuming that we are in a larger corrective move, in which I'm going to expect 7.2 to 7.7 as the support zone. Might be the 200 week and maybe mid 6Ks. But if we lose this area over here, a downwards drop, in which we also get a large wick to the downside, is expected, in which we just close above 7.5, 7.7. Similarly, on the upside, if we break above 10.5, I'm assuming we might wick towards like 12.2 and then start to range here. So the scenarios are still the same, in which we are seeing a corrective move. Right now approaching support over here, which is around 9.5. Expecting to see a bounce occur. Might see another drop downwards towards 9.3 to take liquidity. And then the old question pops up, what the market is going to do. So these scenarios are still there, and I'm still in favor of the upwards momentum, as we are just stuck in a range, and we have been doing that quite severe here as well. Just consolidating. I mean, we have seen a similar move as well in this area, just sideways movements, taking liquidity, bouncing back up, reclaiming support, and continuation. Next one is Ethereum, facing resistance over here, as we have stated, and consolidating, in which over here we have also seen a consolidation. Right now we are seeing a consolidation. If we get the entry over here, that would be wonderful, but I'm also expecting that we might only drop towards 225. If Bitcoin makes another 7-8% drop, that's not correct, another like 5% drop, then we could get a low or an entry here, in which holding these zones are a long entry trigger, and then I'm assuming we're going to see continuation. I'm not expecting to see further downwards unless we lose green. Ethereum BTC still in structure. I've got the wrong one, sorry. Still in structure. Green zone is probably the best entry. Compression, so I'm assuming that later on we get a big breaker. If we go towards XLM, then we can see that we are actually hitting support over here. And as you see, I've been charting this a lot. So I'm just erasing it a little bit. And we have seen a similar structure on ADA and on other coins, in which it took the high, consolidated for a little bit. Oh wait, is it Silica? Let me see if it was Silica. Yes, Silica. Tested the high again, rejected, consolidated for a little bit before it started to move. And the same figure is here on XLM. We tested this high, are going for support in this area again, has to hold there obviously. If we drop below, then I'm going to see a test of this area, pretty much likely. And then the upward structure in which we make higher lows is pretty much gone. So I don't want to see it drop below 66 to 69 cents. If it holds there, I'm still assuming that we are going to test the highs again and get the similar structure as on Silica, in which we do this, start to grind up, go towards the resistance, and then I'm still assuming we can see that move of about 100%. So the structure is remaining intact on XLM as well. However, there are some side notes that you should be aware and that you should have in stop loss. Similarly with the BTC pair. 100-day and 200-day MA are still in support over here. Preferably you want to see it sustain higher lows, in which you don't want to see it below 700 sets. So holding above 730 to 750 is preferred on XLM, and this daily is not looking too bad at all. You want to see consolidation in the next few days, and if we start to grind up towards the range high, I'm expecting that we're going to see a rally and continue towards 1500 sats. So no worries, just stay focused. There's no need to be in panic mode. If you see CHR, you can see that we broke through this 100-day, 200-day MA, held it, support resistance flip, heavy move towards the range high, heavy move of 100%. We've discussed it 2 days ago. Congrats if you got it. But as you can see, things can come down pretty heavily. So you're not looking for an entry right now in this zone. You're going to look for an entry around here. So right now you're in patience, or you want to get an entry here. These are your two higher time frame target zones for an entry, and then you can play the range again. So stay relaxed, be calm, don't panic. Please like a video and follow me on Twitter or subscribe, Rino. And stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you very much. Life is great.